that he gave his only begotten son. And when he gave his only begotten son because of how much he loved us, he was telling us that we were of immeasurable, what he felt for us and the value he had, he couldn't put a number on it. It couldn't be measured. It was limitless. It couldn't be measured because the blood of Jesus, the preciousness of the sacrifice of Jesus, you can't put a number on that. You can't put nothing on that. It's not. You can't put a value to it. It's way beyond anything we can think.
It's priceless.
It's absolutely, positively priceless. And so he gave that. Us in the state that we were in, enemies, even to him. You know, doing what we were doing, opposite of what he called righteousness. Even in that state, he gave us his best because he loved us. Oh, that's love.
Yeah, that's love.
Yes, and he gave us, and that best that he gave us, that word that became flesh and dwelt among us, wanted the best for us too. The relationship that he had with the Father, he wanted us to have the same relationship.
Yes.
Love. That's love.
Yes. And when you think about it, when you really love somebody, you know, and it doesn't have to always be romantic love. I'm talking about just love for humanity. You know, it could be your child, your brother, your family member, whatever. When you really love somebody, when you find something that's really good, you want to share it with the people that you love.
Yes, you do.
You know, that's the first thing you want to do. When you get good news, you know, when something good happens, the first thing you want to do is to share it with the people that you love. You can't wait to get home and share it with the people that you love, you know. And that's the way we're supposed to be about sharing Christ, you know, because he is the good news.
Yes.
He's the good news,
yes.
You know. And we're supposed to be sharing him. He said, if I be I'll draw all men unto me. We're supposed to be lifting him up. We're supposed to be telling the world how good our God is, how good our Jesus is, how good our Savior is, how awesome he is, what a mighty deliverer he is, you know?
And we do get to tell people, especially when people are, I would say their ears are more keen to hear, sometimes in crisis situations, because they run out of, they don't know what to do. That's why they find themselves in a crisis. They don't know how to get out of it. They don't know what to do. So it's easier to get through because they're kind of at the end of themselves. So then you can speak, you don't have to live like this or be like this. Mm-hmm. We have a God that daily load us with benefit. Mm-hmm. We have a God that will not leave you like this because you can cast this care on him. So we will get to tell them about the goodness and the love of God.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, that's when we really get serious with God, when our back is up against the wall.
Yes, unfortunately.
Because, human nature, as long as, things are going well, or as long as, nothing significant is going on to the point where we feel like we can't handle it, we don't really just get down and serious, in prayer with God. But the minute crisis hit, the minute trouble come, affliction come, that's when we start praying like we should have been praying all along. That's when we really get sincere about prayer. When crisis comes, that's when you don't have no trouble turning that plate down then, because you ain't got no appetite no how.
It's true.
God get you to do what He needs you to do. If you having trouble, turning that plate down, because you just enjoy bending that elbow, honey. He can allow some things to go on to make you not even want that plate. It can be your favorite meal. It will not nobody appetite, So.
And like this one, God, He loves us so much that He said that He wants above all things. He wants us to have what we need, to prosper, to be in health. Yeah, He wants us to have it all. That's His desire above all things, that we prosper and be in health.
Even as our soul prospers,
Yeah, and He definitely wants our soul to prosper. Yeah, He wants to be in health. He wants our soul to prosper. This is just what He wants. He wants the best for us.
Yes. And I think that's where a lot of times we get off track, because God can only bless us as far as we can handle the blessing. He's not the kind of father that's gonna give you something that's gonna destroy you. It's
no,
like
He's not.
It's like you have a 15-year-old teenage boy, and you love him so much, you give him a high-powered sports car for his high school graduation, and this kid does not have the maturity level to take ownership of something like that,
Right.
because he's 16, 17 years old, he's gonna be trying to see how fast he can go. He's gonna be racing with his buddies. He's gonna be flying up down the street, and next thing you know, you be getting a phone call, that no parent wants to hear, because you gave them something that they were not prepared to handle. A good father is not gonna give their child something that they know will destroy them.
Yes.
And that's the way God is with us. A lot of times we be praying and asking God for things, but
handle.
Yeah, are you really ready to handle what you're asking?
Yes. And then, like sometimes us as parents, we really have to get with God, because the kids can be pressuring us to give them things that we want them to be happy, and we want to give it to them, but we really have to consult God if they really ready for that. You know what I'm saying? Is they really ready for that? Because halfway you're feeling like they're not ready, but you're trying to sell yourself. We got to go to God and say, is they really ready for that?
Would you rather them be upset with you and pouting with you, because you're not giving them something that's going to take them up out of here, or will you rather just give it to them so they'll be happy and then they gone?
Yes. Yeah.
So you have to use wisdom, and that's the thing, God is a God of wisdom, and no matter what we asking Him for, if we're not ready, if we're not mature enough, if we're not at that place where we can handle what we're asking Him for, He ain't gonna get that to us.
That's right. Yes.
He's not going to give us anything that will destroy us or that will take us away from Him.
Yes. And I like how He says in His Word that His plans for us are always good plans. He chose us from the foundation of the earth, and when He chose us, He had a plan for us, and that plan was a good plan. It was a good plan. It was a good plan. It wasn't nothing evil in that plan He had for us. So we can see the love in the way He handled us. Even when we was yet sinners, He died for us. How He prepared even a place for us. Where that have even more things. But even here on the earth, He given us wisdom and knowledge of Him, so that we can experience the kingdom before we get into the kingdom. Because the kingdom is in us. He allowed the kingdom to be us, and if we surrender to the kingdom that is already in us, then we will experience the heaven on earth to the degree we can experience the heaven on earth. But he wants us to experience it on earth first. Because he said, fill this earth with my glory.
Mm-hmm.
And then his kingdom come.
Yeah. And a lot of times, you know, we get off path of following God's plan and start following our own plan, you know, because, you know, sometimes we get anxious, you know, sometimes we get impatient, or, you know, sometimes we feel like, you know, we know better than God.
Or just those old habits. Those old habits.
And that's when we mess up, because he tells us, you know, over in Matthew chapter 6, he say, you know, don't worry. Don't take no thought, you know, for what you gonna eat, what you gonna wear, and all that kind of stuff. You know, he even talked about the birds of the fields. Then he said, look at the birds of the air. You know, he said they don't toil, they don't feed. He say, but I feed them every day. You know, and when you think about creation, everything God created, he feeds it.
Yeah.
He feeds them.
Now
the beasts of the field, you know, he provides for them. The fish of the sea, you know, he provides for them. The birds of the air, he provides for them. He feeds everything he created. He's made provisions for.
What makes you think he ain't gonna feed his main creation? Now, when you say that, when people will say, well, you say, well, God feeds everybody. Well, why is all these homeless people? If he feeds what he creates, well, all his feeds homeless people. Well, everybody is not in agreement with coming into the kingdom.
And everybody is created with a free will. He gives
right.
everybody a choice. He doesn't force anybody to choose his way of life. He gives you a choice. He tells you to choose life, you know.
Yes,
but he gives you a free will, you know. And so if you just want to be truthful about it, you know, if you look at your life today, you're reaping the benefits of what you sowed 10, 15 years ago. He said, don't be deceived. God is not mocked. Whatever man soweth, that also shall he reap. So if you don't put up in your youth for your old age, is that God's fault? If you don't prepare in your youth for your old age, you know, God is telling you in the Word what you need to do. He's telling you in the Word how you need to live. But if you reject the Word of God, if you reject wisdom, if you reject knowledge, and you choose to do your own thing, you can't get mad at God because you suffering the consequences of decisions that you made. God ain't made you suffer.
Some of it's just ignorance of the Word.
Mm-hmm.
It's just ignorance. The man of God, I can't think his name now, but he was talking about, he's a pastor, a young pastor. He was talking about being kingdom. He was talking about the kingdom, but that was an interesting title that he gave it. Kingdom, like we are dumb by the kingdom, and that is really the problem. We are really just dumb about the kingdom. So the more we get to be kingdom minded, you know, I mean, that was just a beautiful way that he put it. I said, yeah, that's true. A lot of people they just kingdom. They don't know about the kingdom. They're ignorant about it. And where ignorance is, the devil, he rules in our ignorance because he rules in places that's dark.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's like the scriptures say, my people perish for a lack of knowledge.
Yes.
If we don't know, if we don't have the knowledge or the understanding of what we possess, then, you know, the devil can walk all on top of us, you know. He can be popping up upside the head with a baseball bat, and we have a shotgun in our hand and don't know how to use it. You know?
In some cases, that's just it.
Yeah, so it's like
really coded and don't know how to use it.
Yes. But when you think about all the birds of the air, not one can fall to the ground unless our Father knows.
That's something.
And when you think about human beings, the human population is, I think they said last count it was over 8 billion people on the planet. Over 8 billion people. And God knows where every one of them is. He knows every detail about every last one of them. I like what he said in verse 30. He says, the very hairs of your head are numbered.
Now that's something there.
He didn't say they was counted. He said they was numbered.
Mm-hmm.
That means when you brush your hair, he know the number of that strand that come out in your hair brush. That strand number 2,843. When you go to the barber shop or you go get your hair cut, he know which strands were cut, how much was cut off of each strand because they're numbered. He know which strand that was. That's how detail oriented he is concerning us.
Wow, that's good. That's good.
So if he is that concerned about us, how come we have so much trouble believing that he'll provide for us?
That's good. That is good. Yeah, to know